Hello everyone and welcome to the Hylian Gamescast. Today we're going to be discussing and counting down the top 3 worst Zelda theories. Now of course here on our channel we have plenty of Zelda theories that we have made up ourselves. We typically don't cover other popular Zelda theories. We try to come up with our own original theories. And then we also have a lot of top 5 and top 10 videos on our channel, and with our podcast, we've decided to combine them. So each of us are going to come up with our own worst Zelda theory that is already popularized by other people. So someone may be a casual fan, or they may just be a gamer who's heard of Zelda, and then they come across a clickbait website advertising a list of like the top 10 best Zelda theories, and then it lists something that just makes absolutely no sense. Yes, like everyone in the chat right now is like Pat, Zelda theory, game theory. Yes, yeah. So theories like that make absolutely no sense. So we're going to cover ours, and we encourage you to comment in the chat, or even if you are listening to us through iTunes, go to our YouTube channel, find this video, or join our Discord, which you can find, or even leave a review. Just leave us your worst Zelda theory. We will read it out on the next video, whatever the most popular or most voted worst Zelda theories are. So here with us is 𝐓𝐿𝐼𝐷, Captain Bergerson, and myself. Game over, Jesse. Say something, Daniel, so people know your voice.
Hello, that's my voice.
All right, and 𝐓𝐿𝐼𝐷, for the iTunes listeners, what is your voice?
Hello, I'm 𝐓𝐿𝐼𝐷.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to get started. Daniel, what is your absolutely worst Zelda theory?
So, Gibbs in the chat here was pretty sure I was going to do the good guy Ganon theory, which in fairness, I hate that theory, but Denny actually predicted already the one I was going to do, and that is the literal legend theory.
Oh.
I hate it so much, and it's such a load of BS. So, for the unawares, I actually have a video on this on my channel as well. The literal legend theory is the theory that there is no Legend of Zelda timeline. Every game is a retelling of the same story. It's a literal legend. And so there's no timeline. None of the games are connected. They're all just one-off stories. Mm-hmm. The problem with this theory is that it's based on ignoring everything about the games to come up with this theory. Like literally ignoring every connection made, literally ignoring games referencing other games and saying this thing happened in our ancient history and this was actually this other game that happened, right? That's the basis of the literal legend theory, is that you have to close your eyes, close your ears, stick your head in the sand, and not think about anything because you don't want to think too hard about it. And I hate that. So that's why it's the dumbest theory ever. That's just what I'm saying.
I heard 41.
All right. Tubes, do you have yours yet, Tubes?
I have one. It's nowhere near that bad.
Good. I'm gonna win.
I was mostly just thinking about the one where everyone thinks that Agatha is Zelda's sister, because they're like, where'd she get all the wealth from? And she's got blonde hair and pointy ears, so clearly they're related.
There's only 2 blonde people.
How blonde? I think just putting 2 and 2 together by being like wealthy and her having blonde hair and pointy ears, but also being like, I guess. Oh, she also like refers to herself as being a princess, so everyone's like, maybe that's Zelda's sister. I just think Agatha's crazy.
Maybe Princess Ruto's her sister too.
Yeah.
Oh no.
The theory of being a princess, any princess could be Zelda's sister.
I'm Zelda's sister.
Yeah. No,
if Miyamoto can be Bowser Jr.'s mom, I can be Zelda's sister.
No, we did a top 5 or a top 10 facts on Agatha or whatever, and in the it was theories. So it was like the top 5 most popular theories, and that was one of the theories. But then there was also some interesting ones about her like possibly being a Sheikah, because like she's one of the only other 2 characters that have the like the colors and then like the names all spell out the goddess things. You know what I'm talking about, Daniel?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
The weird eye things.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
like 3 gems under her eye.
Yeah, and the other 2 people that have the gems as well.
There's Fanati, who's got a big old Sheikah symbol on her forehead.
Yeah, and their names are like all rearranged from the goddesses. So mine is, I was gonna go with like, so there's a bunch of them. There's like the whole geography theories that I hate, where it's like, oh, this thing's connected to this because here it's also like Lake Hylia is on this side of the map and then it's on the other side of the map. And then there's the ones that are like Link is Dead, or Majora's Mask is like the 5 stages of grief. But like all of those are easily like disproven, or like just so dumb. Like so many people have already disproven them, and even the people that popularized them have like gone back and said, no, we just did that for fun or whatever. But the one that I'm going to pick is, and I think we did a video on this going into more detail, and I was actually going to pick one that you did a video on that was like every Nintendo never had a timeline in mind. When after every single Zelda game, they've always been like, yes, this game takes place after this game. And like, literally, Nintendo has always, when I say this, they have always had a timeline in mind. If you want to comment and be like, no, Nintendo did not ever have a full timeline in mind, or a split timeline in mind, go to Capt Bergerson's channel. He has a video talking about it, proving it with interviews from Miyamoto, Aonuma, and other people at Nintendo, screenshots of the interviews on the screen. Sometimes there's even video clips or whatever, but you can go there and you can watch it for absolute proof. So anyone who wants to comment, no, Nintendo did not always have a full timeline in mind. You can literally...
funny is, people commented on my video where I disprove that.
Yeah. You can literally go to his channel and you can see it being disproven. But the one that I want to say, because it's just the stupidest, and a lot of people believed it because a popular channel posted a video on it. I think it was BuzzFeed did a Zelda timeline video.
I sure hope not.
BuzzFeed did a thing. It's like easily explaining the Zelda timeline, and they said every Link was the descendant of the previous Link.
It makes no sense. He died in one timeline. You can't have babies when you're dead.
Yeah, and like the whole point of Wind Waker, is that he had to prove, like, he did not have the spirit of the hero, he did not have the blood of the hero, he had to prove himself. Whereas in Twilight Princess, the deity that you talk to is literally like, you have the blood of the hero with you, and then you find out that he has the same bloodline as the hero of time. So he's like the great whatever grandson of Link from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. So then you have that proven, and then like some of the other games may have like slight bloodline connections, like from Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass. Maybe we don't really know. But then there's games like in Ocarina of Time, just in the one timeline, Link dies. No babies.
In the adult timeline, Link is literally erased from history. Well, not erased from history. He's removed from that timeline. He's literally transported out of that timeline. He stops existing in that timeline whatsoever.
And then
there's no way he is having babies. He's not having babies that way. That's not how.
Yeah.
No. So,
and in the other one, he dies.
He dies. You cannot.
Yeah, going to A Link to the Past.
With a dead person.
Yeah, going to A Link to the Past, he's dead.
So, nope.
And then, like Skyward Sword to Minish Cap, like it never says that he's the...
Probably not, though.
The father. Minish Cap to Ocarina of Time, it never says anything. Like, there's nothing. Like, the only time that it ever confirms is Ocarina of Time to Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
That's it. All the other games is like, no. And they're like, a lot of the games even go out of the way to say that it, like, doesn't have the spirit of the hero. Like in Wind Waker, where you have to prove yourself or whatever to go out and find the Triforce. Like, a lot of the games, Link gets the Triforce on his hands because he's the chosen hero. In Wind Waker, he's not the chosen hero. Like, he literally has to go out and find the Triforce, like the pieces. And then they're like, you proved yourself to be a hero, blah, blah, blah. So that's the one that I hate. Because it's just like, just because one game says that he's like the great, and it's not even like he's the son of the other Link. He's the great, whatever, grandson. So that's the one that I pick.
That's a good pick for bad theory time.
I'd say it's not the worst, but it's the one that I want to bring the most attention to, because there are a bunch of others that are a lot worse, like Link is Dead or whatever, but they've already had a lot of attention being brought to. And when I think we did the same video with Holly a long time ago, and we had other theories in that video.
Yeah.
So instead of renaming the same theories over, it's best to give new content. So
true.
There.
So to recap, I guess, our three theories. Chubes, I forget already what yours was.
And if Denny in the chat here, if he ever makes a YouTube channel, then it would just be full of all of the worst Zelda theories. Unironically.
He meant to say that he was mad. It would
be the worst Zelda theories.
That the video made him mad, but he accidentally typed man, and I just that video made him a man. It made him a man.
Well, a lot of people do comment saying my voice does that to them.
Oh my!
Yeah. Sadly, that's not too much exaggeration. Recap for us, Daniel.
Or what was yours, Chewy?
Mine was Agatha's being
Princess Agatha is Zelda's sister because there's not any blonde people they don't exist. Blonde people are fictional. Even though Zelda's not even blonde in that game. I think someone in the chat.
But Chubes, what do you think about the other Agatha theories?
I don't know. I think a lot of the Agatha theories are kind of far-fetched. I honestly think that Agatha's just kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was one of the theories.
Yeah.
It's a little loopy.
Like that's literally one of the theories, is that she's loopy and crazy, like Daniel said.
Yeah.
She's a little loopy. Okay, so to recap, our three stupid theories. We should have a vote on whose is the dumbest of the three dumb theories. So there's three stupid theories.
Okay, wait. No, do it.
Recap time. Agatha is Zelda's sister because she's blonde, even though Zelda's not blonde in that game.
And that's Tubes.
That's Tube's theory. Every Link is a direct blood descendant from the previous ones. That's Jesse's dumb theory of the day. And mine is the literal Legend of Zelda, the literal legend timeline theory is my dumb theory. Those are three bad theories for today.
Yes. So, before we read the super chat, people in the chat, who do you think had the worst theory? Put Kayla, Jesse, or Daniel for who had the worst theory. So Gus
in the chat says bad theories are usually the ones that fall apart with the least amount of research, and that is a very good point. But
yeah,
okay, sorry, go read the super chat.
Gus Lass donated $7.90 and says Link lost Triforce of Courage when left Hyrule. That is a quote from the King of Red Lions in Wind Waker. He tells that to Link after Tetra becomes Zelda and you're outside of the Tower of the Gods.
But it's actually a mistranslation.
Yes.
So in the English version of the game,
it implies
says that he left behind the Triforce of Courage when he left Hyrule to go embark on another journey.
Yeah.
But in the Japanese version, it's when he it more refers to his journey back in time at the end of Ocarina of Time when he was separated from the Triforce. So that's the mistranslation.
Then Nintendo
America made an oops.
Nintendo of America tries to imply, because I think there's another one towards the actual ending of the game, that Wind Waker is a sequel to Majora's Mask.
Which it is not.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever was meant to be, because there's
the interview in your video.
Yes, there's that interview where they talk about the two endings of Ocarina of Time that they were willing to divulge at that time. So, Justin Clark asks, are we voting for best or worst? Or
worst.
Best worst or worst? I'm not sure.
Like the one that is just the absolute worst you're voting for. Hylian Luke for $5 says, I have a question. When Demise is killed in the final battle, his sword disappears from existence. Could the same happen to the Master Sword? We talked about this earlier.
Just talking about like this
We
entire
were.
So Demise,
I don't feel so good.
Demise is like, no.
I'm just going to say, though, Demise dies and his sword disappears, right? When he's defeated. In the timeline, there's one instance in which Link is defeated, two instances in which Link is defeated, and his sword does not disappear.
Yeah. So, like, even if you completely crush down and turn it into, like, dust, like the actual Master Sword, I think as you could just take, like, even a tiny bit of that dust, because the Master Sword gets weakened over time a lot. And a lot of the games, the whole point is trying to repower the Master Sword. Like in Skyward Sword, you have to take it to like all of the places where like the goddess energy fire like hits it and transforms it.
Well, that's not repowering it though.
No. That's the original one.
Yeah.
But then there's other games where you have to like get it repowered over time. Like in Breath of the Wild, you have the champion, the trial of the Master Sword trials, whatever. And then there's other games where you have to take it around to get it. Yeah, Wind Waker, you have to get it repowered as well. So I don't think it can be destroyed like that, especially because Demise is just like an evil demon entity, like whatever. Like he's not as powerful as Hylia and everyone, where Hylia is like a true god in the Zelda universe. Like she's actually a god, and she created this thing.
Right.
And although that thing can break, like it can be reforged over time, and it's lasted potentially over 100,000 years, because we know it lasted over 10,000 years just from the first battle with Ganondorf mentioned in Breath of the Wild until he comes back. And then there's another 100 years on top of that where Link is half dead and has to wake back up. And then like from the other games, there's always like at least like 100 or a few hundred years in between. And even from Skyward Sword to Minish Cap, like it could be 1,000 years itself. So it could literally be like dozens of thousands of years that the sword was there, and it just doesn't ever go away. Where Breath of the Wild, the sword just, or not Breath of the Wild, but Skyward Sword, the sword just breaks or whatever. And I think that maybe like Ghirahim, it didn't seem like Ghirahim chose to like go back into the sword.
I think he kind of, okay, with Ghirahim,
it was like
though,
pulled out of his chest and it killed him.
He liked it. You could see though that he was into it. Like, no, he was. If you, when I was replaying that part of the game recently on my Twitch channel, subtle plug here, it is so like he comes up to Demise and is like, "Yay, buddy! Hey, master, you're back! Like, great to see you, buddy." And Demise is like, "Okay, it's time. It's sword time. Like, come on out, buddy." And it looks like it should be painful, But Ghirahim is like smiling and laughing through the whole thing, and he's like, "Yeah, all right, it's time to go. I'm sword again." So it's like, I think that he knows that like that's his true purpose.
But maybe it's a thing to where it's like, even though he's dying in his head, he's happily like giving his life.
Right.
Well, yeah, he's obeying his master,
Yeah.
and he's basically fulfilling his purpose.
To where
And so-
Fi just like pops into the sword. Where
Now another thing is in the chat here, Gibbs said he thinks that Ghirahim bails on Demise, and that's why the sword disappears at the end of the battle. I just, knowing all of that, knowing how loyal Ghirahim is to Demise, I don't think he would just bail. I think that he would just see it through to the end or die alongside Demise, the captain going down with his ship. Only it's the ship going down with the captain, if you think about it, really. So it's just, I can't buy into Ghirahim as a character, Greedy Graham, ditching on Demise. I think he's just too loyal. I think it's like it's too ingrained in him, and because of he is the sword spirit, he's not. He doesn't. I don't think he has that level of free will to be able to just ditch or whatever, or to decide if he's gonna be sword time or not. He's just gonna do what Demise wants him to do.
At the end of Skyward Sword, Ghirahim himself is like almost dead from fighting Link anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So like, maybe if he wouldn't have been almost dead and would have been at full strength, and maybe like the sword would have been more powerful in the fight, and then Demise would have won.
Maybe.
But then his sword was weakened because Link smacked that booty.
Link smacked. He did. There's a lot of butt smacking in that game. I'm just putting that out there. You can wall climb up a Moblin's shield and then go and slap them in the butt with your sword.
Oh yeah.
There's jiggles.
I've definitely smacked that booty in stream when I was playing that. Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right. So what did the chat say? We gave some time for people to vote.
Oh, I won through and through. But
you had the worst.
I had the worst theory.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Pretty bad theory though.
Yep. What's next, Jebby?
Questions. Mailbag.
It's a mailbag.
I think we helped Luke with this theory. He says, "Holy shoot, that's it. That was the puzzle piece I needed. Give me co-producer credit for that theory video, Luke.
What are you whispering?
We have video evidence. I need co-writing and co-producing credit for that video you're making.
Oh my goodness.
I will sue you.
Don't do it. We love you too much.
I need that $2 in advertising revenue.
So anyways, there's your ASMR for the day.
If I don't get that $2 in advertising revenue from that video you're gonna make, you'll get it.
Get it.
No, so do the mailbag, Danny boy.
Okay.
That's it for now, but a lot of rumors, news, and details are slowly leaking out. So please, stay subscribed and notified, and join our Discord to make sure you stay up to date on all Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 news. And you can find our Zelda podcast, the 𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫 Gamescast, here on YouTube and on iTunes, where we have had many guests who have worked on the Zelda series, and have shared a lot of amazing stories about voice acting, such as Patricia Somerset voice acting as Zelda, Mike Drucker on Zelda's writing or translation team, coming up with the jokes in the game, stories behind the names of characters that he created. Please subscribe and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you. If you are a fan of our Zelda videos like this, Zelda Theories, our Zelda podcast, the 𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫 Gamescast on iTunes, we would all really appreciate your support at patreon.com/GameOverJesse. That and buying our t-shirts will get you and your YouTube or Twitch a shout out every week on our 𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫 Gamescast. And if you send in a photo of yourself in our Game Over Jesse or 𝐼𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐿𝐴 Gamescast t-shirt, we can use it for promotion at the end of some of our videos.